What's going on, everybody? Welcome to another episode of the Daily Rage Quit. I'm your host, Weiss, and alongside me, as always, the one, the only, Steelman.
What's up? How's it going, everyone? Got an exciting one for you today, all right?
That is goddamn right, man, because today what we're going to hit is what we all saw the other day, the big PlayStation 5 reveal party. Sony, that was absolutely magnificent. We're not going to dive into the games, but I just got to say that how Sony approached this marketing campaign to reveal the PlayStation, which is the big chunk that we want to talk about. Sony kicked it out of the park, man, from start to finish. Listen, not every game was great, but it was really good to kind of see what's coming out with the PlayStation. More importantly, how they did it. It was just all gameplay, interviews, and all that. We really enjoyed it. I'll tell you one thing. As I was watching it when it first kicked off and we got all these ambient noises, I was like, holy shit. Am I at Coachella right now? Am I supposed to be eating multiple dabs of Molly? Am I supposed to be raging out right now? It was hilarious. And even when we got to the major part, which is actually the reveal of the PlayStation, don't worry. Let's just have this ultra morphic background of X's, O's, triangles, and squares. Dude, it was like an acid trip. It was insane. And then they revealed it. So I got to give it up for Sony. They got real creative with it. Really ahead of the marketing campaign. So bravo.
Yeah, I mean, I think they did a good job. I have a little bit different of a perspective, I guess. The first, I don't know, the first God knows how many trailers they showed bored me to tears. I mean, Gran Turismo looked really beautiful, I will say that. And the cars looked amazing when they were showing the F1 cars and all that stuff. It really was pretty sweet. But some of these games, I just kind of was like, all right, I don't know what this is. But yeah, towards the end, they started to ramp it up with some Resident Evil and all that. And I don't know even what some of that one with the girl and the astronaut would look pretty cool. But besides that, Horizon looked pretty cool as well. But yeah, you gotta, the real show stealer is Sony's design team, their console design team, and they really knocked it out of the park. It looks beautiful. It looks totally amazing. The beautiful blue lighting and how they revealed it with the black, dark background. It comes into focus. And you can kind of see the blue light like forming gills almost on it. It looked really dope. And I just kind of feel like Sony's just starting to stretch. Like, I feel like this is a stretch for them. They're not even flexing yet. Like, we're going to get into some of the real flexing later down the road here. So, can't wait to see what else comes next.
Yeah, that reveal of the system, I'm pretty sure everybody that's listening to had the same sweat, had the same goosebumps pop up when the bass hit, those lights showed, like Steven were talking about, and then it revealed. And in the revealing of it, we got a lot out of it. We got some design, which we got to talk about the design to a little bit more of an extent. We got to talk about some of the features that we saw on there, especially like USB in the front, of course, some of the gills that are going to give us airflow on it. We also got to talk about as well the different types of systems. So we got two systems still, which was really cool. Yeah. We have what we refer to from our squad perspective as the cassette player system, and then we have the digital system, which means you don't really care about discs anymore. Smart move, and we'll talk about why. Then we're going to talk about the additional hardware pieces that we kind of saw that were very interesting. So let's get right into the design. Like Steelman said, it's sleek, it's smooth. At first, honestly, for everybody's listening, I was like, damn, this thing's kind of ugly when it first popped up. And then I start to see it more and more. I was like, okay, now it's actually really sleek. And if you really, really think about it, if you put a comparison up between a PC, an Xbox, and this, the PCs and the Xboxes look the same. PCs look cooler. The new Xbox just looks like a big black box. Thanks, there's no design to it whatsoever. They really went at it and they said, hey, listen, today's modern gamer really has a modern feel to it, so let's give it that feel. Let's give it the new age. Like, you think about things like Tesla, you think of things like Bugatti and cars that have special curves and appeal to them that really stand out. The PlayStation really hit it, especially when it's sandwiched in between there. So it's almost like having two white casings around the outside and then the inside where the true hardware sits.
Yeah, I wonder what their design inspiration was for this. It probably seems like something like a Lamborghini Aventador or something, man. It really has some beautiful edges and then some beautiful curves as well. It's
Mhm.
pretty cool to look at. Yeah, I'll be curious to see. I actually guess we have four systems because there's the 1 GB or the 865 GB hard drive, and then the 2 TB hard drive as well. So they're going to have both models, the digital model and the disc model, both come in two separate sizes, or is one going to be, one's going to be one and one's going to be the other? Who knows? We don't really know how they're going to do that yet. But it is cool to see that there is an option to not have a disc, and it's considerably thinner. It looks considerably better as well. Like, I'm actually thinking about that option for myself. The other thing I noticed is that how open it is. There's so much cooling ability on this, and hopefully that doesn't add to more dust in there, but it probably will. But you just got to clean it out more often. And that's whatever. But it looks like that thing can handle a lot of air and oxygen in there to cool it off, which is nice because as we all know, the PS3 was fatal flaw was overheating, and that was an issue. So PS4 fixed that. I had no issues. I still have a launch day PS4 right now that runs perfectly fine, and no overheating issues. They fixed it, and they want to continue to fix it. So it looks like they nailed that with the design there.
I think one of the things that we saw in the design features as well, there's two things I want to point out that are there. One were the lights also. Here's a curious question, Steelman. Blue lights. But let's say you've got a killer gamer setup in your room. Will you actually be able in the interface to change the lighting color on those lights? Or will it always be PlayStation Blue?
Yeah, we actually have a buddy who I called him immediately. And he's like, I'm going to buy a separate TV console to match my PlayStation. I'm like, dude, you're ridiculous. But like, you don't have to do that if you have lights maybe that are different colors or something. But this is the problems of an adult gamer, right? So I'm gonna go buy another center console for my.
That's definitely our problem, without a doubt. Those are the little things we got to think about. The other thing that was very interesting, if you all take a quick look at the front of the PlayStation, we still have USB hookups. But Steelman caught something that was interesting and kind of actually puzzled us a little bit, which was it's not the same USB. We have one type and then the other type. So Steelman, kill us with it.
Yeah, I don't know. They switched to a USB-C, it looks like, in the front, unless that's something else, but it looked like a USB-C. And I don't understand why they kept the standard USB jack there. The only thing I could think of is that they're backwards compatibility for some reason. Maybe when you use a backwards compatible PlayStation VR or something that you need that VR headset, and maybe it's USB. I don't really know how they work. I don't have one. But maybe it's there for that. That's the only thing I could think of because everything looks like it's going to a USB-C on the console. I mean, I know the remotes are, so who knows?
Now, the last thing that Steelman and I were curious about, and this is probably what everybody's thinking, is we did not see the back of the PlayStation. And that's always interesting because we know what we're going to get with the back of the PlayStation. Obviously, the power cord, got to have a source of power. And then also you got to have HDMI hookups, which who knows how many there are going to be this time. And then probably audio hookups as well. But who knows what else could be back there?
Yeah, I mean, optical power, HDMI, those are the standard ones, and maybe a USB port or two. Other than that, I'm trying to think if there's anything else that they'd add in there, but I can't really think of anything. It seems like, it'll be the standard stuff.
Perfect. So overall, from a PlayStation perspective, this thing is slick as hell. It is definitely looking into the future. And also, it's going to work for everybody because now, for those of you that collect these massive box sets and get the discs included, it's going to give you that chance that you don't have to buy the digital download as well. You will get the CD with it because that's important. That's a gaming move on PlayStation. They know how important it is to go out and get these limited edition sets and all that. So now that you'll have backwards compatibility with other discs, you can also continue to buy your limited edition box sets and also play the discs that are on them. But for someone like myself, I don't care about discs anymore. No, I haven't sold a fucking game in probably like 4 or 5 years. I digitally download everything. I don't need the extra space for those discs. So for me personally, it's going to be digital without a doubt.
Yeah, I'm the opposite. I mean, not the opposite. I do both. I have discs and I buy, but I haven't bought a disc in a long time, and I buy digital copies. And I've actually started to switch to kind of digital copies because it's like, what's the point anymore? It would be really cool if they wanted to keep the ability to share games with your friends or sell games and stuff. Do some online marketplace that you could sell things or swap them over to your buddy's account, and then when it's on your buddy's account, you can't use it. And you could just digitally swap that back and forth if you want to trade it with your friends. I think that would be cool. But that would also take a lot of their revenue away, so I doubt they'll do that.
We're sweet dreaming, baby. Sweet dreaming.
Yeah. But yeah, I think it's PlayStation's first time doing backwards compatibility, at least in my experience. I don't remember if they ever did it way back in the day or not, but it's a big thing. It's going to be a selling point for some people for sure. I think there'll be a lot of people that are like, yeah, I'm going to upgrade faster than I normally would have because I can play my old games still. Smart move on their part because they're going to buy new games as well. You're just selling more games at that point. They're not making their money off of the console. They make very little money off consoles, if any. It's all about the game. So smart move on their part. Keep the games flowing.
Now, of course, the PlayStation was revealed, but also we got reveals on the hardware that goes along with it, too. We got some additional controller stuff. Nothing very new on the controller side. We caught a couple things that were interesting to us that, at least are helpful along the way. We got new headphones, which is incredible. And then also, for those of you that are looking attentively, a new camera as well. And I think these are three of the biggest things. Listen, I know there was a remote controller, but guess what? We're going to knock that out of the way because guess what? If you have a family at home and you use your PlayStation as the console for your media station, yes, then you should have that controller. Otherwise, it doesn't matter. It's not meant for us. It's meant for everyone else who's not a gamer. So let's get into the controller. There were just a couple things that we saw without a doubt. For me personally, there was a headphone jack. It was already announced, but you got to actually see it there. And what was really good for me is that I use actually a headphone jack still. I like the interconnection there. I think you get a better connection through your PlayStation, through the audio piece as well when you direct connect. I don't know if that's true or not. Maybe not. Tell me if I'm right or I'm wrong. I don't really give a shit. I like my headphones. I like jacking in like that and jacking off when I'm not on my PlayStation. But most importantly, nothing very new there whatsoever. I think Steelman caught something as well from a PlayStation controller perspective there too.
Yeah, they have the mute mic button, which is a nice touch. And not having to remove your hand from your controller to mute your microphone and touch your headset. Or whatever else it is, but yeah, that's a cool feature. Love it. It's a very simple touch that they didn't have to do, but they did it, and I like that. Secondly, is my question surrounding the microphone on the controller. I know it's going to be used to control your PlayStation, but with this new Tempest engine, and not only focusing on headphones, but people with surround sound systems, are you going to be able to use your controller as a microphone? I did see that they have patents for voice recognition technology that it'll single out your voice. So will you be able to use your microphone on your controller while you play with surround sound, and will it cancel out the noise? Because they did say that there is some noise cancellation on the microphone. So will it cancel out your speaker noise and allow you to talk with your friends while you play, and you won't have to use a headset, which I would love. I love using my surround sound. I just don't do it because I feel bad for everyone else that has to hear the reverb from my TV, and then they're getting that in their microphone or in their headset, and I feel bad for them. So I don't do it. But I would love to see that feature. I think it would be awesome. It would really be, a unique perspective, a unique thing that they do. So.
Now, the other piece of hardware that we got to see that we talked about in our previous episode on the predictions, which I'm actually glad this came out true, which was the new 3D Pulse cans that that Sony's going to launch. Now, Sony's PlayStation headphones, I don't know a lot about it. I don't have the Platinum or the Gold Edition. Steelman could probably talk to those a little bit more and why they're so important. But for me, when I saw those cans, there's two things that came to mind. One, they look like Sony headphones, because Sony is notorious for having big canned cushioned headphones. And these things were pretty big, but that's okay, because the Pulse 3D lets me think they're putting a lot of effort into the headphones, just like we've been talking about audio being one of the most important parts of this generation of gaming and how we can completely immerse ourselves in these games.
Yeah, I think with true 3D audio, you need multiple speakers in the headset, right? And it's not just one speaker, and that's why you're going to get the size, which is a good thing. You know, it's good to see that they're going at a bigger headset. One of the things you did touch on, that I do have the gold headsets, and one of the reasons I've bought them twice is that you have the ability with I think the Platinums do it as well. You have the ability to change the level of volume in your game and your party setting, and it's just kind of like a seesaw switch that you go. If you hit down, you raise the volume in your party. If you hit up, it raises the volume in game. And that way, if you get into a huge party like we tend to do, we'll have 6 people playing and you can't hear the in-game audio because so many people are talking. I can turn them down and make them less noisy so I can hear the game and play the game. I love that feature. I would love to see that feature back. Everyone I talk to that doesn't have a Sony headset, when I tell them that they can do that, is like, oh my God, I wish my headset could do that, because of that exact instance when you're playing with too many people or a lot of people. Yeah, that would be an awesome feature to have back. I hope that they include that. The headset looks beautiful. It looks awesome. I mean, it looks 10 times better than the gold and platinum headsets that they have right now. I'm excited for that. I think also this will give them a chance to, and I talked about this earlier on in the episode, is that I think Sony's just starting to stretch a little bit and they're not even flexing their muscle yet. This is going to be the flex, the Tempest engine with these headset that has 3D audio. They're going to do I think they're going to do a whole launch period on a launch video for the Tempest engine. I think we're going to see that, and it's going to be all audio focused, and you're going to really be impressed by it. I think they'll do that, and that'll be like the game changer that right before release.
Steelman, I'll throw this out there. Maybe this will be great, maybe not. You talk about the audio up, audio down between chat and game. What if the system was smart enough, after understanding your own audio input in the very beginning, if it did it automatically? So someone new that joins your chat may have a louder pitch in their volume, but the headphones and the audio system is like, whoa, this is the audio setting that, Steelman likes to have. Let's lower that automatically, so Steelman will never have to press a button, but instead the system intelligently changes it for you.
Brilliant. I mean, that's a brilliant idea. I mean, and there's no reason why they couldn't. The AI is there where they could just recognize what you prefer people's voices at. And if someone comes in and their audio levels are way up here, they just tone them straight down to that normal level. I mean, it wouldn't be that difficult to do. It would just take someone recognizing that is a feature that we love, like you just did. So, who knows if they thought about that or not. I hope they did. That would be awesome. That they could use some chat improvements, and that's one of them, is that some people get in there and they're super loud, and it's just, why can't I turn one person down? We've talked about that before, but if it did it automatically, my mind would be blown.
Talking about chat improvements, one thing that we caught that, we talk about, reaching out to people and working with your team. We got the new HD camera, which looked sleek. It looks very similar to the current camera that PlayStation uses that you can hook up to your system. But obviously it's going to be in HD. This tells me when you're showing this at the reveal, there is something special going on with actually connecting with the rest of the game industry. They know today how important it is for people to stream their gaming. They understand how important the community is to connect. And one of those things is to be able to share yourself while you're gaming. And I think this camera may not be like the most insane camera, but I am hoping that from a camera perspective, they're putting enough thought into it from streamers' perspective, from sharing perspective, and more importantly, the system's going to be running at at phenomenal speeds, we are going to need 4K resolution on these cameras without a doubt.
Yeah, it's yet to be told if they're going to use 4K. I think they would advertise if it's going to be 4K, but they didn't. So yeah, I kind of think it's probably just HD. And I hope it's not just something for VR. I mean, if it's streaming or if it's you want to talk to your buddy and have a live video chat, like I think that's pretty cool too. If they want to start competing with Microsoft and Zoom and all those other companies, or just add that feature to have that included on the console. I think it's interesting though, because obviously streaming is a big thing. It's a huge moneymaker. They want people streaming on their systems. The more people streaming on their systems, the more people are going to watch, the more people are going to buy their systems. They know that. So they've, it would be interesting if they even included that with the PlayStation, simply because they know it would pay them eventually if everyone was streaming on PlayStation, because it was something you could just buy out of the box and plug it in and be streaming and have a video. And, it's a no-brainer for me. It's, obviously cost effective, how much those cameras cost versus how much they're going to bring in. But yeah, that would be awesome. And I'm glad they're including it. I'm glad they're moving in that direction, because it's obviously a direction that everyone needs to move in. It's going to be such a big part of the next 10 years.
So as we conclude this episode, guys, one of the biggest things that I saw, without a doubt, that's the standout, will absolutely be the marketing perspective from Sony. There's a lot to hear, but they killed it again. They're putting themselves ahead of the console battle, which we all love. Not going to lie, we all love console battles because we need to determine what our next move is going to be. Stillman and I are fortunate to just be PlayStation headies, without a doubt. But in the future, you can just see how much they're pushing the envelope and how well their marketing is going. They are going to attract new gamers that are out there, whether they're going to convert from Xbox to PlayStation, or we might have some people that are going to convert from Nintendo to PlayStation as well. Because guess what? When you saw that reveal trailer, you also saw a lot of kid games, and I think they're trying to appeal to the mass gaming audience. And I think they really hit it home with, this is a gaming console. This isn't anything else. This is what you're going to use it for quality, badass gaming.
Yeah, I think they nailed it. Like, I mean, it's in the end, it's a gaming console, and yeah, I think they've gotten a leg up on their competition for very easily here. Xbox did not produce anything special. I mean, the thing looks like a refrigerator. It's sad. It really is sad. It's the only thing I could say about it. And like, I am a PlayStation head, but also like, if PlayStation completely shit the bed on this and Xbox was really good, like I wouldn't have any problem switching over. Like as long as my friends did too, it would probably be a group decision at that point. I don't think I would be able to jump over. I wouldn't have no reason to jump over to Xbox if all my friends stayed on PlayStation. I'm not go through the whole process of making friends again. So, but yeah, it was cool. I'm excited. This event was awesome. I can't wait to see what Sony comes up with next. I know they're going to have probably multiple events between now and launch. And we're excited to see what they're doing. Keep crushing it.
Don't worry, everybody. We're going to come out with our next set of predictions in our next episodes, because there's a lot of things to say. So stay tuned. This is another episode of the Daily Rage Quit, speaking about the PlayStation reveal, something we're all excited about. Be sure to subscribe down below. Make sure you like us, and we can keep these videos going. And of course, dislike or like our stuff. We need to know if you like our shit or not. And of course, keep the conversation down below. Comment, give us your suggestions. Also, let me hear what your thoughts are around the PlayStation reveal. From all of us at the Daily Rage Quit, peace.
Holla.